Does it look like it's there? Okay. Okay, good. Welcome. This is our first lab in the Heart and Soul of Coaching and Healing course. And today we're going to follow up on what we did Tuesday with the heart focus. And also, I thought we could do introductions just briefly. We don't have a lot of people, so we should have plenty of time for that. So you can start to get to know the ones who you don't know yet a little bit. Um, and I wanted to mention also with the mudras, I let me see if I can see. I added a whole bunch of information that I got off AI about mudras, like all the questions I've had, like what does this mean? What does that mean? Because I wonder, well, what does it mean when you touch a finger and a thumb together? Or what does it mean when you touch the same fingers and thumbs from the different hands? I just had a whole lot of questions. What does it mean when you bend someone over? All of those questions that I had, and a basic description also of how the mudras relate to the hands, which I find fascinating, is in there. And I think Philip said he didn't get to very much of it, but one of the things that I found very interesting when I started using them, and the first time I think when I was practicing, I was using them for sleep, to have a better night's sleep. And so I was asking, actually looking at the hands, where the thumb is like the fire element. So we have the four elements plus the ether is the middle finger. This is the air element, which is the mind. This one is the earth element, the ring finger, and this one is the water element. So the earth, and this one, the water element, is the emotions. So if, for instance, I wanted to have a better night's sleep and I put my thumb with and the thumb is like the ignition. So it's lighting up whatever it is on the other fingers. It's kind of like just basically connecting with the elements, like playing a piano or something. That's the way I look at it. So if you put the thumb with the little finger together with the intention of relaxing your emotions and having a night's rest, that's a very simple thing to do. And something also that I haven't seen written that much, but that I realized early on using them, is that if you're looking at it as a mechanical process, like I'm just putting these fingers together in some way, that's fine. And it will have some results. And sometimes they'll say, well, hold it for 15 or 20 minutes or something like that. Well, if you want to actually supercharge it, the way you do that is by adding your imagination, or in other words, a visualization. So I could hold my thumb and my little finger together and just imagine that my mind is clearing out. I'm just feeling so restful and like I'm supported on a cloud. Just something that is actually conducive to soothing your emotions and bringing you into a place for rest. You might get the same results, and I can't say really technically, but you could get similar results maybe in a few minutes as you would in 10 or 15 minutes if you're just using it as a mechanics process. So your consciousness has a lot to do with the effectiveness of the mudras. And I think if you look at the one that Philip presented on Tuesday, the Padma mudra, and you just imagine this lotus opening and your heart opening up, just beautiful energy of your heart. And of course, holding it to your heart is helpful. Holding it where you hold it makes a difference too. Just envisioning your heart opening up, but having a story with it, kind of, or just some kind of visualization with it is a real, it's very effective. It's not just a little better, it's a lot better. And I think in a way that it is also an indication of the effectiveness of imagery. We've used imagery prolifically for a number of years now realizing that idea, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So if you're looking at opening your heart or wanting to understand what's happening in your heart, looking at that image of the heart is a really valuable way to do it. And it can be very powerful, which I think you had, those who were here on Tuesday had an opportunity to experience that. So that's just a little bit of an explanation also about why the imagery is so effective with just about everything, actually. And I thought it was very interesting with the mudras. I actually earlier today I was sitting here at my desk and I started feeling kind of tired, which is unusual for me. But I wanted to decide, no, what was it? It was the I wanted to have a mudra to make me feel alive and alert and ready, for a lot of vitality. And there's one which I think it's an obvious name. I don't think it's in this deck that you have, but you can use it anyhow. It's called the Prana Mudra, an obvious name. So you're holding your little finger, your ring finger, and your thumb together, and then just holding the other two fingers up. You can put them in your lap. And so it said, well, just hold it for about 15 minutes. And I thought, well, I wasn't planning on 15 minutes. So then I just asked AI about that, about the power of visualization. If I had a visualization for it, and it suggested maybe just imagining a bright sun emerging around the body. So there's this huge, beautiful light, yellow sun all around you. And then doing the same thing, you might be able to, then you could have 3 to 5 minutes. And I find sometimes I even feel quite a bit in much less time than that. So any comments or questions about any of that? I know Pamela has used mudras too. Anyone want to comment?
One of the things that I learned is 3 minutes at a time, but then repeat it. So it's like that's about as much as I can do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
one of the
I'm just not a person to sit and hold my fingers for 15 minutes usually, but yeah.
one of the ones I use a lot is a stress breaker, and it's this one. It's
Oh, you
just
just shake your hands?
to shake your hands for three
Oh,
minutes.
for 3 minutes?
Yeah. It's very effective.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can feel the energy in my hands. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pamela, were you going to share something?
Yeah, the way I have been using the mudras is I'll incorporate it into my healing card reading. So I will draw for a mudra card at the end to see what I need to focus on, and I focus on that one for the day.
Mm-hmm. And you find that effective?
I like it. So far it's been really it's spot on, really, about what I need to focus on. It
Great.
can't go
Yeah.
wrong
Yeah. It just
anyway,
is so
you know?
amazing. Yeah. But it is amazing how right on readings can be, which actually reminds me, another thing. I'm looking at the resource page here. Maybe I can just show you too. Let's see, share. Here we are. So this is the bottom section of your resource page, all of the many resources. So there's section 1, all of the basic things, then the class recording. So you can see now you have the recording of the first class and then the heart focus process there. So all the classes are there. And then there's section 3 is a section that actually is good for probably all the courses. It should look similar in all of the courses. And I added the mudras. So there is this just mudras information from AI. There's nothing really unique that I said about it. And then we have this other one using soul coaching oracle cards, which that's a deck we used in another course. But what I wanted to mention is there's a 3-card reading here, and we're not going to probably do it tonight, but I did that reading with the mudras cards, and I was very surprised at how it was perfect. Kind of, well, like Pamela was saying, it was perfect. And it's interesting because the messages, of course, in those cards are much briefer, obviously, than you have in a lot of decks. But there's something, I think, special about that too, in that it invites you to open more to what your heart wants to tell you about it. So I found that to be really wonderful. I just wanted to mention that you can play around with that if you want. It's just a description of the reading and what each of the cards is for. I think we can also expand. It doesn't just have to be what needs to be healed. It could be what needs to be understood. Or I was trying to integrate something the other day, so I did one for what needs to be integrated. And then how do you do it? And then what is your next step? So that's a really, and I think people who use that reading in our last course really enjoyed it. So that is just a little more information about things in section 3. We may not have gotten there before. So would anyone like to comment on that simple 3-card reading that we used for those who were in the class last time? I thought it was really remarkable to use with healing. Anyone want to comment on that? Hi, Cynthia. I didn't get to say hi to you.
My apology, I was a little late.
Yeah, that's okay. Anybody comment? Yeah, Pamela?
I really like it. I find I use it a lot.
Mhm.
I like to use the cards, and I like to use them with, the healing process, what
Right.
needs to be healed, like you said.
Mhm.
And it really resonates with me. It's fun and
Yeah.
quick and easy and always, accurate, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah, it adds something. Like if you're looking at the question, what needs to be healed? You already have an idea. Well, I want to get over this frustration or something, but it adds something completely out of another realm, I guess. But it always seems to be very enhancing. Just amazes me. Anyhow, you might want to try that with the mudras cards too, because I was surprised that was really effective. And I think it's going to be very interesting in this course because we're going to talk a lot about the chakras and having the mudras card and the healings. I think it will be very interesting. Okay, so from here, what I would like to do is just have a couple minutes for each of you to introduce yourselves, who you are, why you're here, just quickly, and maybe how many classes you've taken, or if you're new. I think the people who have had classes know who's new, but not everybody does. So would anybody like to start?
No, nobody wants to start.
Oh, David?
Sure.
Wonderful.
So I'm David Ingvoldstad. I live on Long Island in New York. I don't claim to be a New Yorker because I was born in northern Idaho. But I teasingly say, I have 2 personalities. During the day, I'm an elder law attorney, and at night, I go into the spiritual stuff. And I've had, quite a bit of training, Jane. Lots of years. And there's just so much that you provide and teach. So
Thank you.
So looking forward again, and I love every time there's an addition of some kind, and I love that the mudras are being added. So
Yeah, it's exciting, and I think I think we keep going further into the field of pure potential and the healing too, which I it seems like it's all of that is really opening up. I guess you could call it quantum healing, however, but it just is very magical. So I think that's another thing we'll be exploring more. Thank you, David.
Yes.
Who'd like to be next? Oriel.
Yes, let's see. I'm originally from Massachusetts, from Northeasterner, and then I was had quite a big awakening in 2008 and have been on a very, very pretty intense spiritual path ever since. And I moved out to Sedona, Arizona, and lived there for 7 years. So I was very much called to go there, and a lot of downloads, a lot of integration, a lot of things happening out there. And now I'm here by the ocean. I think I called the ocean to myself, having that experience, because they're all experiences. I had the Northeast and then the desert experience, and now I'm having the ocean experience. And I'm in Pensacola, which is in the Panhandle. And my journey has been pretty much, I've been in the healing arts for years. My passion is sound healing. Yeah, did massage, worked in spas, did lots of different types of energy work. And I just was getting to the point, because I'm getting older, that, my body is just feeling it too much with the massage. So I just felt like being called to getting more into the counseling aspect of healing. So that's what drew me to Jane and Philip. And yeah, and I also love to travel, and I see it as something I can do remotely, which is very important,
Right.
very
Yeah.
important to me. So that's it in a nutshell.
Well, you didn't say you've taken 2 courses, right?
Oh, yes,
I
I took-
didn't hear
yeah,
that part.
I took
She's on
the-
her 3rd course now.
Yeah,
So
I took them consecutively. So the life purpose, I took that module, and then manifesting the dreams, the second, now this one. So
right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Can I just add that I'm constantly humming now because I've been hearing about sound in the vagus nerve, and relaxing. So only a few people think I've lost my mind. But
You haven't.
That's interesting. I also noticed the suggestion to do humming with the mudras. That's another thing you can do. Interesting how you can bring so many different things together. Yeah. Thank you. So who'd like to be next? Okay, Angie.
All right, my name is Angie Van Helder. I am currently in Arizona, but I am from Ontario, Canada. Moved to Arizona in the 90s, and I don't know what the desert did to me, but I had a very, very life-transforming experience and out of body. And it was so beautiful out there. And from there on, I've been on this journey, just learning and understanding what's going on and operating from the spiritual world. And somehow I've always wanted to take the course with you both, but life was in the way, work was in the way. So finally I got to do this. It's my first course. I even enrolled to take the course, like, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, but it couldn't happen. But now I have plenty of time. So that's where I'm at. I'm looking forward to learning and joining this beautiful community and finding more about it.
Wonderful.
I trust my instinct. I trust it. I know I'm on the right path. So what to do with it?
Oh, wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
I love your colors, by the way. So beautiful.
Thank you.
So who's next? Cynthia?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Cynthia Hurd L. I am from Chicago. I have lived other places, Georgia, out of the country on the island of Antigua for about 2 years.
Wow.
But I'm back home now. I got into spirituality. I always knew there were things that weren't being said but I kind of got pushed in there. Some things happened, and I really didn't have people to really teach me, really, how to deal with things. Some
Mhm.
things, but they really didn't explain out. So I always had these questions that weren't getting answered. And by trade, I've had education. I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I did go to medical school as well. But I didn't finish the clinicals for that. And so I've been with different groups learning various things that were very helpful that I've been able to apply to help other people with as well. And I'm also a broker. And
All kinds of
yeah,
things.
yeah, I have a vast background and I understand myself more. I've learned so much about myself every day. And then, especially since COVID has happened and last year, one manager that I had who I was pretty close with invited me to take this course with another platform. And the first day, everything was wonderful. The second day, things kind of went downhill, And in the process, I got hit with some spirits, and I knew I had, but they weren't equipped to deal with that. And so that kind of led me to awakening, to
Wonderful.
search out another platform. And then that's when I met, and with Philip, we had some one-on-one sessions. And then eventually he invited me to take these courses. And I must say, initially, I started the courses in January. I was enrolled in 2 courses, and I really was just in the courses to help myself and to learn. And this week, God has shown me what I'm supposed to do in this
Oh,
space to
wonderful.
help other individuals. So that was a grand epiphany that, I'm welcoming and looking forward to see where that's going to go. Last quarter, I took 2 classes. And right now I'm in this class as well as the Akashic Records class. So this is
Mhm.
class. So I'm happy to be
Wonderful.
here.
Well, thank you. We're happy you're here. So we have George.
Yeah, I was thinking because David started that maybe the men could sort of in a kindly, friendly way, bracket the ladies, but I'm not going to do that by being last, right? Anyway, well, so I've always had a certain level of interest in spirituality, whatever that is, and I have a former friend, actually a former teacher, who doesn't like the word because he said it means something different to every individual, so it doesn't really mean anything. Uh, but in any case, so I recently had some medical issues with my heart, which was very unexpected. I thought, I have a strong heart, everything's great. I had AFib, and then I had congestive heart failure, and
Mm.
came fairly close to not coming back from the latter, but I'm actually rebounding very well. They were, the doctors were surprised even while I was in the hospital. And I've found a means of strengthening the heart, which seems to work very well. But anyway, that experience, as coming close to one's mortality often does, kind of triggered a stronger interest,
Mhm.
a sort of awakening,
Right.
a greater degree of awakening. and so I had a friend in Arizona who's been on spiritual, personal development, all the related paths for many years, who really who had taken a couple of courses from Philip and Jane, and said you should get to know these people and maybe take some courses with them, and really pushed me in this direction. So I ended up actually taking the second half of one of the classes, and Cynthia and I have been in the same classes this year. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, and then I'm I'm in the Akashic Records course as well. But as far as coaching and healing goes, I'm in you know a new realm here, and sort of testing the waters, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But in principle, I want. I'm at a point where I'm sort of transforming my life. I'm a retired software developer. I got so burned out on that, it's not even funny, after being very much in love with it in the beginning, many years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So anyway, this is a completely different side of my personality coming out, and I feel that it's more aligned with my soul's plan for my life. It's like, well, okay, you had all that fine experience in a lot of other things, and now this is more aligned with what you're really here for. So
Yeah.
I'm taking it seriously, also rejoicing in it a lot, being very, very pleased with it, and very happy to be on this path and taking these courses.
Wonderful. Thank you. So we have Pamela.
So I am Pamela. I have taken two previous courses. Actually, I took the ordained minister course first and then loved that so much. I just had to join the next course of coaching and healing. So this is my third course, and I live in Northern Ontario, Canada. Woohoo! So, love it up here in God's country, but there are challenges with snow and internet access where I am because I live on a
Mhm.
lake. And but just loving it. My day job is a full-time nurse at a long-term care home. And I have lots of background in esoteric studies. I've been on this spiritual journey for many years, over 3 decades. And well, really, I've always known I was different, always known that I was spiritual.
Yeah.
Came from a Christian family, but I did not resonate with the Christianity, but I did resonate with the spiritual aspect of it.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's and my goal is definitely to transition from traditional Western nursing to healing holistically. That's my goal.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. So Terry, you're the final person here.
Okay, thank you. I'm in the central coast of California, the same area with Jane and Philip, and had heard of their work probably 20 years ago, and was off on my own journey. So how interesting that I should come back around. I wound up having incident. You speak of mortality, George. I wound up in the ER on Christmas Eve with a blood pressure that was 225 over 212.
Wow.
And I was hemorrhaging. So, yeah. And it was one of the first times that I had an inner voice or knowing that said, if I don't heal this, it will kill me. And so it began my journey toward wanting to understand how trauma is held in the body and how it affects or manifests as disease or illness. And so I started following the breadcrumbs of my spirit and my soul and went off to study and worked with Alberto Viola in the Four Winds Society for 15 or 20 years and have studied Gnosticism and the Sufi path, and am circling back to realize that the universality of spirit and healing. And it's so beautiful. It feels like I'm bringing all of those things together now.
Right.
The path for me was to understand how to heal, but now it's how to serve. So I'm grateful to have found myself with you now, with all these beautiful different ways of being, and because I wasn't sure what that would look like, and so coaching seems to be bringing it all together and validating my soul's path.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you. So that was really beautiful. I think an opportunity to get to know each other a bit. And I think those who have been in the course, Terry, this is this your third? I can't remember. Second or third? Second?
I think
Second course?
I lost count.
Anyhow, it is a wonderful opportunity to get to know each other. Particularly, I think, considering that it's not always easy to find like-minded people who you can feel are really, really heart-centered and that you can trust, and you can do healings together, readings, all kinds of different things, and develop friendships. So I think that's why we wanted to do introductions, so that you can start to get a sense of who's around. And I know from the last course and the people who were here, Oriel, Pamela, Terry, and Cynthia were all here in the last course. And I think to me, it was one of the most harmonious and really beautifully connected group of people that we've ever had in the program. So you have some really wonderful people to get to know. Okay, so with that, what I want to do is demonstrate the heart focus process again, and we'll just have a shorter time really to go into the breakout the breakout rooms. It will be an opportunity for anybody who hasn't done it before to have the experience of it. And you can just share what you've noticed so far with the heart focus. I think I'd like to do it with someone, and then maybe everybody else can notice what you notice in your own heart at the same time, and then share with each other. And if there's an opportunity for EFT or whatever you want to do along with it, that would be fine. I'll put new people with some of the veterans so that everybody will feel comfortable about whatever might come up in the breakout room. So with that, then, and I think, was everybody here on Tuesday except for George? I think, as far as I know. Terry, were you here? Yeah. And David, you were there? Okay. So we have the heart focus script, which is kind of long. And I'm not going to actually exactly read the script, although the questions are very good. There's nothing wrong with the script. It's just I think after a while you don't feel like using a script. So we'll go through the basically the process, and then the questions about the heart. So getting a sense of what you're perceiving in your heart. And then from there, you can get together in your breakout rooms and discuss. And as I mentioned, if EFT comes up, by the way, is there anybody here who is not familiar with EFT? Good. So we're good with that. Okay. Okay. So would anybody like to volunteer? I know Philip said he did a wonderful process with Cynthia on Tuesday. He enjoyed that one. So anybody else? Oh, George, do you want to do it?
I have mixed feelings, but I'm willing.
Well, if you're not sure, Pamela can raise her hand too. If you want to, it's fine. If you don't want to, it's fine. Whatever you feel.
Well, let's try it. I mean, you know, I have to have a little bit of boldness now and then, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
To show it.
Yeah. You're among friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do then, first, as always, with working with someone, I just ask, is there anything specific that it brings up when you think of connecting with your heart?
Well, this could be interesting, you know, to explore.
Mhm.
I'd like to know more about what um, aspects of my life before I knew I had heart problems, medically, physically, right? So what was going on, let's say, emotionally and spiritually that sort of led into that? And I
Mhm.
believe there was a causal relationship of some kind involved, right?
Mhm. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to get that today. What we do
Well, at
is,
least maybe a little hint of it or pointing in the right direction or something.
well, what it is to look
Yeah.
and just to notice what's happening in your heart, and maybe your
Okay.
heart will have a message about that, or maybe, like you said,
Yeah.
maybe there will be something um
Right. Well, it could be more
related to that.
general too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Okay. But I think, I assume everybody is aware, the heart is like the center of our being, the place where the soul connects most firmly with the body. And so it is also the place where we experience love and that state of connectedness. So it is where we find our truth and guidance. A really wonderful, wonderful experience connecting with our hearts. So with that, does anybody have any other comments or questions before I start? Okay. Well, you can start by closing your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And just starting to breathe. I generally start processes in the same way. Breathing in light, the most beautiful light imaginable from the universe around you. It can be love, peace, joy, harmony, whatever feels perfect to you. Just enjoying the breath, breathing in. And as you exhale, letting go also of anything you don't need in this moment, letting go of anything that feels heavy or dense. So you're bringing in the new light and then releasing with the exhale. We're asking any energy that is not your own to leave your space, because this makes it clearer. You have more of your own energy present. And then in similar ways, we leave bits of ourselves in other places, people with other people, other times. Ask any of that energy to come back to you, any energy you've left somewhere else. And just notice how you feel in your body, just breathing and relaxing. How does that feel, George?
Pleasant. Great.
What was that?
I said it feels pleasant, feels just fine, feels good.
Good, good. Okay, so then we can take some loving breaths now, opening to the energy in our hearts. Nurturing and nourishing yourself more with every breath, and allowing that love to radiate out all through your body. And if you have any thoughts running through your head, just breathe more light into your mind. And you can let your thoughts know that they can relax for now and they can express themselves when we're done. That seems to, at least for me, satisfy my rational mind. As long as it knows it can express itself later, it can relax now, so that we can just be present to the process. Sending beautiful, clear light and energy into your mind. And then focusing your attention on your heart, imagining that you can visualize your heart like a Valentine. And notice what you find there. You can start asking some questions. Can you sense that connection with your heart, George?
Yeah. I started very early in the process, visualizing it anatomically correct, more or less, right?
Right.
And I don't know if it was the thinking mind trying to jump in and project things, but I said, "Oh, I know. I can't wait for her to ask what's going on with my heart." So I don't know if I should try to dispel that or run with it.
Well, why don't we go through the questions here and then
Yeah.
visualizing it as a Valentine.
Okay.
What color, if you're looking at that Valentine, what color is your heart?
That's interesting. Well, let's see. It started out being healthy bright red, and there might be some tinges of other colors involved. Let me try to perceive that. I think down towards the bottom there are some other colors like blue, orange, yellow, maybe even a little bit of darkness. Not much of that, but a little tinge of gray or black around certain parts
Mm-hmm.
around the edge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how does it feel physically?
Physically, my heart feels good. Like I said, I've been having success with strengthening it. I think, it's like always good to check with a physician, but I haven't had the opportunity yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if you ask it, what would it say about how it feels physically?
Oh, it's feeling enormously better than it was
Wonderful.
a month or two ago. Yeah.
Right.
And I
Wonderful.
can attest, I have a lot of energy. I'm busy and getting things done now, which I was kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum not that long
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Right. Wonderful. So how does it feel emotionally if you ask what it feels emotionally?
Well, it feels a lot freer and a lot more open these days. And when I say these days, I attribute some of that to the classes I've been taking with you and Philip, and also another initiative I'm involved in, which is very complementary. It's kind of like, yeah, different aspects of the spiritual development.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So looking at the Valentine, what shape is it?
Well, it's the nice traditional Valentine shape. Since you've
Mhm.
steered me in that direction, I'm going with that. And it's fine. It feels natural to
Mhm.
look at it
Wonderful.
that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think each of these things can indicate something, like if it was drooping, or a lot of things could happen if I would say if it's a nice shape that would go along with it being free or open and maybe somewhat happy. So what you mentioned, actually there was maybe a little darkness around the edge. What do you notice around the edges of it?
Well, I think these sort of extraneous colors really represent bits and pieces of unhealed trauma and things like that. Going
Mhm.
back for
Mhm.
very various numbers of years, and who knows, maybe in the past lives and things like that as well.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Are there any cracks or holes in it? Anything you notice in just the general? You said it's a nice red color.
Yeah. No, I don't see cracks or holes. If I look at it let's say I'm like zooming in and looking at it really closely, right? Like if you would look at your skin under a microscope, looks like Mars or something, right? So at that level, it's maybe a little more wrinkly, you know, not as smooth and pretty as it is from a distance, from broad overview kind of picture.
What if it's a little wrinkling? Does that mean something?
It's just
What the
it's
wrinkles might.
been through a lot. It looks aged, you know.
Okay.
Like it's a little bit tired and getting old. Yeah.
When it beats, how does it sound?
Well, my first reaction, which is usually correct, right, was to say, you know, it sounds strong. It resounds nicely. You know, it's got a nice thump and a little bit of a boom to it. You know.
Good. Is there anything else about it that you need to be aware of?
Well, in the very beginning, the picture I was getting was kind of like one of constriction, like there were walls on either side of it that were pressing in, and it wasn't able to expand fully. And I think it's almost like that's a different aspect of things than what I'm seeing with the Valentine, but it still feels like there's some validity to that.
That there's something on the sides of it that is maybe preventing it from being completely free.
Yeah.
What do you sense that means? Because it, and like you were saying, actually, that just going with whatever comes comes through is really the way to do it.
Yeah, well, I think that too is residue, but it's residue of old habits, I'll say, right? And the old habits were kind of based on limiting beliefs, if you will, that you know, I really needed to protect myself, you know, and stay within certain boundaries, or things would definitely not go well. And that even affected my relationship with spiritual growth, because you know, I've known people and I find them fascinating, right, who have a lot of, let's say, psychic ability, but I always felt like, well, that's good for them, but I have no talent in that area. You know. And then I took a remote viewing course and found out I actually had a little bit of talent in that area. So, you know,
it feels to me like you're just like opening up very easily to what's below the surface.
Well, there's definitely movement in the sense of, you know, away from that kind of restricted, self-imposed restriction, you know, on my view of life and the way I experience life and the way I'm able to, well, interact with others, or conceive of interacting with others. Which is in alignment with the idea of coaching and healing, right?
Right. Wonderful. Yeah. And just out of curiosity, you were wondering, you know, if there about what was going on. I think you were suggesting at the time when you had the heart problems. Was that it? You were wondering that?
Well, I have some general, yes, the answer is yes. But I have some general ideas, but you know, ideally I'd like to be able to write a book about it. You know, we go into a lot of specifics, but that hasn't happened yet.
Well, is there is there any message it has for you today about that, or about what has happened since then, or just about your journey?
Well, maybe I don't need that, because I actually did a reading the other day asking some kind of question like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I want to know specifically about this. And the answer I got was, no, you don't need to know specifically about that. You know, along with some other counsel, which was very applicable I said, yeah,
Mhm.
I guess you don't need to be able to dig into all the detailed diagnosis to be able to heal something, very often.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And
Right.
that may
Yeah.
apply here too. Yeah.
Mhm. Right. Okay, so does that feel complete just in terms of bringing awareness to what's happening in your heart now, or is there anything else? Anything it says it wants you to address?
Well, I'm kind of getting the same message intuitively here that actually came through in that reading, because I now remember what the second card was. And it was basically saying, keep doing what you're doing, and don't hold back from diving into it with enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on the right track, and you're being protected and guided along this path. So
Great.
I really think that's that's the main message that I'm getting here.
Wonderful. So does that feel complete then?
Yeah, and I'm very pleased that actually it's very positive news for the greater part, because obviously there are some things that need to tidying up, but that will take care of itself in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Well, and those are things you can consider as you're going through the course, or if you want to, in whatever way, you can just sit down also and ask yourself what those colors are around the edges, or what maybe you could do about the walls, or just I think it gives you maybe some ideas of things you can follow up on and see then how the image changes. I think that's always so fascinating to me, how images can change so dramatically when we just a little EFT or something can do a lot. So yeah.
Well, let me say this too. I'm a very verbal person, and I usually think of, well, I should be able to write this out in paragraphs. But really and truly, the picture tells, is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
Aphorism is pretty well true, and I feel like it's very helpful to me to have these visual impressions, and I can work with these maybe even better than I could work with a lot of words about what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's that
Yeah.
idea of I think that's so profound when you realize that it actually is true. That a picture's worth 1,000 words. It just like there's such a clear story a lot of times in pictures. So yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So that was
fun.
Oh, good. Yeah, they can be very interesting. That was page 1 of the Heart Focus, and it goes into more about where you can go into healing, different ways that you can go into healing, which you would maybe have the option when we break out into groups to do a little EFT or whatever you want, depending on what each of you have observed with your images. So anyone else want to comment on what you noticed for yourself, or before we do the breakout rooms? Terry, did you want to? Oh, you're sideways. I guess that's fine.
I don't know, my phone just turning around. I'm verbal as well, George, and yet what I have come to understand in my practices are that when you get out of the mind or language and you go into the messages of the soul, the language of soul is imagery. And so when we start to get those and then feel into them, that is where the information comes from. So it is a different language, doesn't necessarily come in words, but in feeling and impressions. So the challenge might be for those of us that are very literal or verbal is to let go of that and the activity of the mind, but to allow the other images to come. So well done.
That was fun. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody
Terry.
else? Okay, so we have 7 of you, and that would be 3 groups. There will be 2 groups of 2 and then 1 group of 3. And what I usually do is just let it, if I just tell it to do 3 groups, it organizes people. So I'll see if that looks good. I assume everybody wants to practice. Is that right? And this is, like I said, just a nice time to get to know each other a bit. You'll have about 20 minutes if you want to do a little EFT. Talk about, discuss also. I think sharing about these things can bring out a lot of new insights too in what you've experienced internally. So I'll get you into your groups. I have to set this up. We'll do 3. Okay. So we have new people with veteran people. Looks good. Okay, so the first group was the 3 group. We have Oriel, Cynthia, and Terry. The second group is David and George. The third group is Angie and Pamela. So I'm going to open your rooms and off you go. And I'll just be traveling around. And I think you can comment in the notes also if you need to reach me for anything.
So we're picking up where we left off as far as the visualization of the heart.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Mhm.
again.
So how was your first class, Angie?
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Good, wonderful.
You know, I used to take courses in personal development. I haven't done it in 10 years. So that was it. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So we have a few missing people. They must be having a good time.
Well, we got finished first because I didn't have the script. Otherwise, we'd still be working on it. But next time, maybe I get it. I'll call you, Pamela, and I can do one and do the exchange.
Thanks. Oh,
Here they come.
Okay.
Good. We're all here. Okay, so any comments, questions, anything you want to mention about being in the breakout rooms?
I had an amazing experience with Oriel and actually received guidance from my heart. And it was imagery, but also I was getting next steps for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the white roses that I saw in my heart. I've seen white roses at different times on my path, in dreams or in guidance, and it's the direction of my soul, the blossoming of my soul. And so
Wow.
that's what I found in my heart. So,
Wonderful.
yes, what a beautiful process. I hope others, I was able to ask my question because I known how to move forward. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Anyone else? Anything, comments, questions? I don't know if being in breakout rooms was new to anybody, but have you done it before, Angie?
Yes.
Mhm. And
I
I know
had
George.
a great session with Pamela. I mean, she walked me through, and I found out that the message I got is to trust myself and not same like what's the next step. So I have analysis paralysis because I don't trust myself,
Mhm. Right.
and perfection is one of those things I struggle with, and that makes sense. So I was able to see that trust yourself. It's
Mhm.
okay. Yeah. So that was beautiful.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. So George, I don't know, have you been in breakout rooms before?
In other contexts,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay, so everybody's comfortable with that and had a good experience. I can't think of anything else from my side. So I guess that anyone want to share? I guess we could have some final comments if anyone wants to share something you particularly enjoyed today. Just I liked it. I think we're on a high note anyhow, but just to end on a high note. And it's always interesting for me to hear what people was helpful for people, what they enjoyed. So anyone want to share that?
I'd just like to share how I felt when you was doing the session on George.
Uh-huh.
So I closed my eyes and followed along, and I just got this auric feeling, like, just like almost like out of body kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then I drifted off. I may have gone to sleep, but relaxed. But I really did enjoy that feeling that I got. And then I wanted to ask you one question. Tuesday, Philip put up the mantra cards.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share the deck because I was looking for it on Amazon and
Yeah,
I
this
wasn't
is it
able to
here.
see.
Yeah.
It's called Mudras for Awakening the Energy Body.
Got it. Okay,
It's
so that
it's
is the one
square.
I-
Yeah, and they have it on Amazon. It's a reasonably priced deck.
Mhm.
So did everybody get that? There's another one that's associated with it that I got too. Not that we're not going to use it for the class, but they're kind of a pair, and you can actually put them together. This one is Mudras for Awakening the 5 Elements.
Okay.
So if you just want more mudras,
But we'll be using the first deck for the
yeah,
class.
we'll be using this one, this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
And I already mentioned, that when the prana mudra, it also, if you look at the information, there's about 12 pages, I think, of information in the from AI that I put in that section 3 on your resource page. It mentions a lot of different mudras in there too. There are so many. I think there are more than 100 mudras. There are quite a few.
And so this one was Allison D. Nicola, just to double check.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And
I didn't think it was
I
the
find
one
it,
that
using it, I've been surprised. Like I said, actually having done a 3-card reading with it, I was quite surprised how profound the reading was. It was perfect. Another thing, by the way, that I've thought of, if you have a card that doesn't have much of a message, these are like this one for the Padma mudra. It has a focus. It says, "My heart blossoms open with unconditional love," which is wonderful, and it has benefits and instructions. And there's a little more in the book, but you could, if you wanted to, you could even say, you can go to AI and say something like, "Give me an oracle reading card message for unconditional love," or whatever it is that you can get a reading right off of AI.
No, it's amazing.
And you can even say in the style of Denise Lynn or whoever you want.
Right. Wow.
Can you repeat that statement? That affirmation, my heart blossoms.
Blossoms open with unconditional love.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is a really beautiful one to do. I enjoyed that one. Okay, anyone else? Final thought? Something you enjoyed? Or just a comment? Were you going to say something, Oriel?
Oh no, I thought Terry was going to say something.
Oh.
The work that we did together verified my intention of a day or so ago. And it was when I asked what my intention was for the healing, it was the Rumi quote came into mind that said, ours is not to seek for love, but to look within for the barriers that we have built against it.
Yeah.
And
wow.
so I wanted to remove that barrier. And it's been a day or so revealing itself, even in dreams or frustrations. But today was more of a culmination of that.
Right.
I could feel the shift.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that.
It's great.
Okay, so that probably is about all the time that we have. And I'll see you again on Tuesday. So have a wonderful weekend. And I'll stay around also for after hours if anybody has anything else you want to ask about. So have a wonderful weekend.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
It was lovely to meet you all.
Thank you.